lioness, principally rock solid of an empress. When she be strong, the whole universe rests. When she be storm, she lit.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing out there in society? Hope we are blessed and doing well and striving towards sweet salvation in Jesus Christ. Okay, I just want to hop on and talk about these flies, okay? The flies are horrible. I spent my whole day yesterday fighting flies. I kid you not, I tore up a couple of fly swatters. But I'm about to run out to Walmart in a few minutes and get some more. But this is something that I didn't know. My husband came home a couple weeks ago and told me this. And I guess, I was like wondering why he was telling me about the US dropping flies. 1 billion flies. This happened in July of 2025. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm reading up on the article of it because the flies outside is horrible. You cannot go outside. If you're planning any functions or anything outside in Texas, I don't know how it is in any other states. You can drop a comment and let me know, okay, if the flies are bad in your area. But the flies are horrible. And I remember a few months ago, I posted a dream on my page about flying objects outside that I had seen. The Lord showed me in a dream, and we were coming inside, and we were staying inside in the dream, and I was closing my curtains and putting stuff against my door because that's what's going to have to happen because the flies, they find a way to come inside. I don't know how they're coming in, but even if I wasn't going in and out my door a lot yesterday, but I did go in and out, and I noticed that the flies were still coming in some kind of way. So I'm getting ready to solve that problem because I will not be inside of my house fighting flies, okay? But they are horrible. But let me read a little bit of this article right here, okay? Billions of flies to be dumped out of planes in an effort to fight flesh-eating maggot known as man-eater. Okay, let me move my camera. So I don't like turning my back on the camera, but let me read this. The U.S. government is preparing to breed billions of flies and dump them out of airplanes over Mexico and southern Texas to fight a flesh-eating maggot. That sounds like the plot of a horror movie, but it's part of the government's plan for protecting the United States from a bug that could devastate its beef industry, decimate wildlife, and even kill household pets. This weird science has worked well before, okay? That's what they say. It's an exceptionally good technology, said Edwin Burgess. If it's so good, why do we have the problem again? I'm just asking. Okay, the largest pest is the flesh-eating larva of the New World screwworm fly. That's the name of the fly. That's the name that the scientists gave the fly. The New World screwworm fly, okay? The U.S. Department of Agriculture plans to ramp up the breeding and distribution of adult male flies, sterilizing them with radiation before releasing them. They mate with females in the wild, and the eggs laid by the female aren't fertilized and don't hatch. There are fewer larvae, and over time, the fly population dies out. Okay? That's what they say, but that's not what's happening. Because if it keeps coming back, it's not dying out. If something die out, it die out. Okay? It is more effective and environmentally friendly than spraying the pest into oblivion. And it is how the United States and other nations north of Panama eradicated the same pest decades ago. If they eradicated, why is it here? I don't understand the scientists. They supposed to be so smart, but they so dumb. Okay, sterile flies from a factory in Panama kept the flies contained there for years. But the pest appeared in southern Mexico late last year. The USDA expects a new screwworm fly factory. I wish I was making this up. I really do. The USDA expects a new screwworm fly factory to be up and running in southern Mexico by July 2026. It plans to open a fly distribution center in southern Texas by the end of the year so that it can import and distribute flies from Panama if necessary. The scientific name for the parasite, I'm going to try to pronounce it, Coccollemia hamivorax. I know that's not how it's pronounced, but okay, sue me. Is roughly translated to man-eater, according to the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. When the New World screwworm fly larvae maggots burrow into the flesh of a living animal, they cause serious, often deadly damage to the animal. The USDA says New World screwworm can infest livestock, pets, wildlife, occasionally birds, and in rare cases, people. In rare cases, people. Most fly larvae feed on dead flesh, making the New World screwworm fly and its old world counterpart in Asia and Africa outliers, and for the American beef industry, a serious threat. Females lay their eggs in wounds and sometimes expose mucus. 1,000-pound bovine can be dead from this in 2 weeks, said Michael Bailey, president-elect of the American Veterinary Medicine Association. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. You can go read that article. That's on CBS News article from last year, July 2nd, 2025. Flies are horrible, so they dumped us. They dumped the flies. They really did, and we feeling every effect of it. So they can go and kill screw. I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know. All I know is it's miserable out. And I know I read my word and I study my word, and I know the Lord is calling for oppression during these tribulation years that he's sending upon this earth. And that, to me, you know, with the food being the way it is now, with the genetically modified stuff in it, and, you know, what I can't even think of the other name. I know it's genetically modified and something else. They're growing the stuff in the lab, so it's other stuff that's on the table and in the, you know, in the supermarkets and wherever else. Okay, we don't know what it is anymore. That's what I'm trying to say, because I'm tired of trying to remember the names. Because if you go over there and down the rabbit hole with these people in America, these scientists, and what they do to this food, okay, it's no wonder it's so many sick people in the world. You know, it's so many in America. I'm not going to say in the world. I'm going to say in America, because this food makes you really sick. The way they genetically modifying things and taking everything away from its natural state, the way God made it, it's not going to be healthy for you. So if their agenda is to kill off a certain amount of people, you know, like the Bible said, then that's definitely what's happening. Because there's no way you're going to live if you're putting that stuff in your body. You definitely have to think, you know, wisely, and think for yourself when it comes to what you eating, and reading labels and staying out of the grocery store. Because, hey, I used to spend so much money in the grocery store. Ask me how much I spend now. I kid you not. I probably went from spending, over the years I'm talking about, and my daughter can testify for me, because she was right there with me, taking me sometimes where I need to go and being with me while I went wherever I went. So she could tell you the grocery tab. And I'm telling you, if I spend over $1,000 on groceries in a month is what I used to before I woke up from God woke me up from my sleep. That's what I used to spend. Now I probably spend $100 and something a month, because of the way I had to seriously pray and ask God to refine my palate and take the taste of certain foods and stuff out of my mouth, because I didn't want it in my body anymore. And when he did that, my taste changed, and it's only certain things that I eat now, okay? Food, I told him to redefine my mind, and not redefine my mind, but renew my mind and redefine to me what it was to feed, like eat, you know, for my body to eat. I only eat when I'm weak. when I'm really weak, I let my body go to the brink of as weak as it possibly can before I eat. And when I eat, I try not to eat unhealthy, but I still crave unhealthy foods. I do. If I crave a burger, I want a burger, and I'm gonna go eat a burger. But that's what I'm trying to pray about and get the Lord to completely deliver me from any of the meats, and anything that's here, unless it came off my farm, then I'm not eating it, because there's no pesticides going in my animals, okay, and no immunizations, none of that. I'm not putting any of that Babylon mess in any of my animals, okay? And it's definitely harder to get seeds now if you're planting good seeds. Let me say that, because you use these seeds and you could plant, and those seeds will not bring you any harvest. And I at first I thought it was me, but I was like, no, okay. I learned how to garden. My dad taught us a lot, okay, and he didn't even know he was teaching us when he was doing what he was doing while we were right there, okay. But I paid attention out there when Daddy was out there in that garden planting, okay, and getting those fruit and vegetables and planting those trees and stuff. I paid attention when Daddy had animals and skinning animals and cooking animals, whatever. I paid attention. And I'm glad I did, because I get to use that in my adult life, because, hey, that's where we at right now. If you're not doing that for yourself, then you're going to end up over there in that other system, okay? And y'all know what I'm talking about, where you go when you get all your ailments at to go get their cures. And what makes you worse, because that's what each system does. It just makes everything worse and worse and worse and worse. Nothing gets better coming out of that system. But with the Lord Jesus Christ, you get complete deliverance, wholeness, wellness, all that. Okay, he's the only one who knows how to completely eradicate things. So they dropped 1 billion flies last year, over 1 billion, to fight in an effort to fight flesh-eating maggots, and people think that this is okay. I heard this woman the other day was talking about the flies, because I wanted to ask her, is it because I had animals? That's why the flies were bad? She said, no, they're bad. They was bad before you came over here. They're bad. I was like, okay, so it's not me. So let me figure out why it's increased. But then I remembered my husband telling me about them dropping flies out of the blue. He just told me, because he be reading, I guess, a lot, or looking at the news. I don't know where he get the story from, but he was the one who told me, and I looked it up, and come to find out they put radiation and stuff on the flies. Like, the flies like to land on you. They like to try to get in your ear, like, and but it's rare that it infects a human. Well, if it can affect the animal, why wouldn't it be able to affect the human? I don't understand, well, I do understand. I know it's, wickedness. It's no other word for it. Anything they can do to try to kill, whatever, that's what they do in this place. And it's gotten to be too much. But anyway, we know that what the tribulation is going to be all about. It's going to be about oppression. We know that from the word. We know that it's going to be about famines. We know that from the word. We know it's going to be about pestilence. We know that from the word, because that's what the Lord ordered for the hearts of the people to be open for him to come in there, for him to get the people attention in this place. But, you have to be wise. You have to be aware. You have to know what's going on. Okay, you have to be led by the Spirit to know what's going on in the system and how the people are operating. And you need to know what to buy and put in your body, what to stay away from, what to be praying about, because God can do anything. I don't care if you struggle, whatever you're struggling with, whatever addiction you have, if it's food, if it's drugs, if it's, marijuana, whatever it is, God is there and he can help you out of any situation that you are in. Okay. But he definitely wants us to be wise about what time that we're living in and what we should be doing in these hours. I've been on here 5 years warning, okay, and trying to get people ready for a whole lot of stuff that was coming. And if we was listening and preparing, we would be a whole lot further right now than where some of us are right now, okay? Because when I was talking about stocking up on my grains and my rice and my stuff like that, I was actually doing that. And I'm glad that I did, because in the time when the food is too high right now, and it's only going to get higher, because every time I go to the grocery store every month, the prices are increasing. It's just a fly just flew by me, okay? So I got to go to battle when I get off of here. But they're going to die because you don't come in my house. But, you know, just going to the grocery stores, you know, and getting my stuff when I was getting it then, it saved me from having a famine in my home in this time, because you go to work and you make your money and you have your bills, you pay your bills, your needs are supplied, okay? And if you don't have anything left over to go play with, you know, that's fine. You be grateful that your needs are supplied, that God is supplying your needs, because everything is going to be higher. Your gas is going to be higher, much higher for your car. You got to go back and forth to work. So you have to like start being more wise with your money and your spending and what you're spending it on, you know, and making sure you have everything that you need. And you have, hey, I will get gas cans right now and go set me some gas aside, while it's probably almost $4, I think. I don't know how much it is. My husband always put my gas in my car. But I'm going to find out today when he get off and make sure we go to the gas station and get us a couple gas cans filled, just so we can have that extra around here, because it is going to go up higher. And you have to have gas to get back and forth to work, you know. So you're going to have to carpool. It's a whole lot of change that's coming, that we're going to have to pool together and figure out how to do things that it won't affect our household. So the other day when I went out to the grocery store last week, I had to go. The grocery store that I go to is H-E-B, and it's right beside Ross and a couple more stores. So I was getting out of my car to go in the grocery store to go get some fish or something, or shrimp or something. But when I got to the counter where the seafood and stuff is, all the seafood in the seafood department was from Ecuador, and the Gulf shrimp from local was like 3 times higher than the Ecuadorian shrimp. But I don't buy stuff that's imported from anywhere, like seafood and stuff, because I don't know what's in the waters. I know the waters over here is contaminated in Galveston Bay, you know, but when they go out to go shrimping, they go out a little bit further from the coast. So I eat the shrimp from the Gulf, and that's all I eat, okay? And I did get some, but they are expensive now than what they used to be. So if you catch them on sale, you need to stock up on that too. That's some of the things that you like to eat. So I talked about the flies, you know, and I'm just going to cover my windows and my doors and stuff, hang some curtains above my doors and block all that off to make sure they don't get in here, because the Lord gave me a dream about the pests. He did. He said, cover your door, stay inside, and cover your windows. So if he told me to do that, I'm going to be obedient to what he said, and I'm going to do what he said, okay? Because he knows what's best. But I wanted to, you know, come on and kind of sharpen you guys, because that's what iron does. Iron sharpens iron, and so shall a man sharpen the conscience of his friend. If we friends, okay, then I'm going to tell you what's right and what you should be doing in this hour to make sure you and your family eat, okay? You may have a plethora of things out there on those shelves right now, but next year you don't know what it's going to be. Or especially if a storm comes, the shelves clear out real quick. And a storm can determine whether you get any more goods in that area or not in a quick amount of time. Or you're going to have to wait for something to be shipped or drove in some kind of way in the place that you're in. So everything seems to be increasing in the earth when it comes to the tribulation years, getting, you know, wrapping up more and more. So we need to definitely take heed. I wanted to come back on this year and do another video, because I don't know, it's been a few years since I did one, but all the stuff that I thought was important last time when I came and did a video, having the meat and all that, child, that's not important. Having your freezer full of food, that's not important. We found that out when we had the last tropical storm that came through here. It came with a lot of wind, and it blew down a lot of trees on a lot of power lines, and we had no power for a whole week, I think it was. And we found out during that week, when that storm came through, that having meat in your freezer full of meat was definitely not important, because I don't want to have to be dealing with no generator trying to keep that cold and keep it on. You don't know how long the electricity is gonna go out. If Iran send a missile and the electricity is out for a year, that's not gonna do us any good, because we're not gonna have enough gas for a generator to keep it running and stuff. So that, having the refrigerator, the freezer full of meat, hey, I was like, no, that's not important, because we was just going out every day trying to find ice to keep our food and stuff good. And I'm not doing that again. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I have all the dry goods that I need, and dried meats that I need, dried fish, everything that I have, in this season of my life that I stock up on is going to be dry goods. I'm not worried about if I have a refrigerator full of meat, because if I have dry goods, I can make a meal, okay? And as long as you have your gun, you can go kill an animal, okay? A deer or a chicken or whatever. I know you don't shoot a chicken, but, I'm just saying. If you have your animals, you can eat. So I have my chickens. What else? I have my chickens, I have my hens that lay their eggs, and I do have a rooster. We don't know when we buy chicken, little bitty beaties, that if they're going to turn out to be hens, roosters, or whatever, but I do have another rooster. I had two beautiful Cochin roosters, but they were making a lot of noise, so I ended up taking those back to the person that I had got them from. No, not the person I got them from, but from somebody else that I buy my chickens and stuff from. But I do have my chickens right now that's growing, and they're going to be producing eggs. So I have my own eggs. I have some herbs and stuff planted out back in my garden, but I have to build my greenhouse bigger, and I have to do another garden, like make my greenhouse longer and do it a little bit longer for the stuff that I want to put in it, and build it a little bit better. But I'm not gonna do that right now, because I have to find the right property that's away from people. So that's what I am in the process of doing right now. Okay, finding a bigger properties to where I can take people in and have it not be, so tight, but more room and more yard room for my animals and for my garden, for my greenhouse, or whatever else I'm going to put on there, because I'm done with Babylon, okay? And I hope you are too. If you're not, then you're going to be in trouble, because Babylon is deceitfully wicked. I don't want anything from them. So the other thing I wanted to share on this video today was stocking up on your dry goods and making sure you're getting a great deal, because you can get a great deal at Ross. And while I was talking about Ross earlier, sometimes I just lose my train of thought, because I'm not used to getting on here and talking, but I know I need to do more of it, because people need to be warned, okay? And they need to know what they need to be doing, okay, to fortify. If you don't know what's coming, hey, you need to get over there in your Bible, in the book of Isaiah and Ezekiel, talking about, get over there with the prophets and Jeremiah if you don't know what's coming, and you can go over there and meditate on that word, and he's going to enlighten you, okay, and let you know what is coming, what's here, what's upon us, and how you need to be rolling. But I have my yellow corn grits, I have my white corn grits that I bought online a couple years ago, and I bought them by 20-pound sacks, I think it was. Now, I don't know how, I think I paid maybe $11 for them back then, but I guarantee you, if I go look right now, they're probably going to be probably $22 or more. But I'm going to go and look, and I'm going to get some more of those because I do have quite a bit, but you can never have too much when others are hungry, okay? So this is the yellow corn grits, and I put them in freezer bags, and I keep them in cool area, but they don't have to be in the freezer. If your freezer go out and you keep them in a cool, dry place, they will be just fine. And this is Himalayan pink salt. I get this. The reason why I was mentioning Ross earlier is because the Holy Spirit told me to go in Ross. And when I went in Ross, they had a lot of markdowns on their dry goods. And I do check the expiration date. The expiration date was good. It was a year from today's date, or the date that I went in there. But the Holy Spirit spoke to me and told me, look at the back and see how many ingredients is in there and see where it is made. And a lot of the stuff that I bought from over there is not made in the United States. It's from Australia or Italy or somewhere like that. And it only contains 2 ingredients in the process of making it. Okay, so you can get a whole lot healthier stuff if you get it from another country and not the United States of America. You should save a lot of money when you go into American grocery stores, because you shouldn't be buying anything that's on those shelves. Anything. Nothing should you be buying on the shelf in American grocery stores. Okay, the flour, I was eating the white flour. I don't eat white flour anymore. This is what I eat. Oat flour. And this is the oat flour right here, but if you have regular oats, you can grind them in the grinder or beat them, or whatever, however they did it back in the day, and grind it into flour. You can do that. This is a lot healthier anyway, okay? And this is just whole grain oat. That's the ingredient, 3 ingredients. That's it. I mean, 1 ingredient, whole grain oat. That's the only ingredient in this. But I don't think this was, this is from Canada. So just to be a little hip, I get this at Ross. Okay? And I'm telling you, all of this stuff was marked down. So when the Holy Spirit tells me to do something, I don't question the Lord. I go because, hey, He leading us to our blessings all the time. And like I was saying about the Himalayan sea salt, this is what I kind of salt I like. It is a documentary on YouTube about where this come from. They say it come from Nephilim, like the giants that petrified into the mountains. This is their blood in this salt. That's what the documentary is all about. But I've been eating this for years, so I'd rather have Nephilim blood, half angel, half man blood in me, a DNA in me, than what they trying to do to us here with the stuff that they put in the vaccinations and try to make you into. I'd rather have this. So I'm going to keep on, okay, with and this, you see how big this is? This is 5 pounds, and I think I paid $8. That's not bad, okay, considering how much you're going to get in the grocery stores and how much you're going to go online and get it for. Okay, so that's something you need to have in your arsenal. You need to have your flour. I don't eat regular flour because I can go in my pantry right now. I got a bag in there I haven't got rid of yet, but it's full of bugs, and it comes out of the grocery store like that, and I'm not eating it anymore, and it's not good for us anyway, so I'm not eating it. Now I want to know how I stay thin. I pray and I don't eat. I fast and I eat only when I feel faint. And this is noodles. This was made in Italy, and this has 2 ingredients. It say alubia and rice flour. That's what's in this. Made in Italy. And I paid $2.99 for these right here. They was marked down to that. And that's what I stocked up on a lot of whole grain noodles and stuff. And all of these are made in Italy. I can do a lot with noodles. And this has just durum wheat. That's all this is. No extra anything in here. Just wheat. That's it. A lot healthier. And I promise you, your body, it will thank you, okay, for a lot healthier whole grain food. It's not hard. It just takes your mind being renewed, okay, and you being educated to what is healthy and what is not, what you need to stay away from, okay. Okay, what else? These are some more that I bought over there. Though these I bought a couple bags of. They were marked down to $1.49. Okay. Product of Italy, made in Italy. And ingredients: wheat and water. That's it. That's all that's in there. 2 ingredients. That's it. And you can actually pronounce what it is. Okay. But that's mostly what I have. A lot of noodles. And if I want to make flour, I'll make it with my oats. I do eat my yogurt, and I don't buy fruit anymore because that's tainted. I buy bananas. Okay, and I'm getting ready to run me a test on those, see if they have any pests in them, because they've been looking a little fishy lately. So I'm gonna do that. I do pray over my food, but God gave me wisdom to know what to put in my mouth, okay? Because if you putting the wrong stuff in your mouth, it doesn't matter how many times you pray over it, okay? You know it's bad. And this has whole grain oats. That's your ingredients. That's all this is. No extra anything. Australian oats. This is from Australia. And I paid $3.99 for these bags, which are 32 ounces. And I get a lot. These keep you full. If I eat this, I don't eat in the morning. I fast. The first part of my day, I fast. And I eat maybe if I feel weak at 11, if I went rode my bike or whatever, I'll eat at 11, like 11:30. But if I'm fasting and I don't go work out that day, I eat at least at 1 or 2 o'clock because I just don't want to eat. But I do eat a lot of oats. It keeps me full. I eat a lot of oats and a lot of nuts. And I'm going to show you my nuts, how I keep my nuts over there. I warm up a little bit of milk with my oats and just a little bit just to wet them. I don't like them soggy. And I mix in yogurt and I put my nuts in and some type of fruit. Whatever fruit is good, I know that is good. It could be an apple. It could be a strawberry. It could be watermelon. But hey, I make sure that it's actual fruit, whatever it is. I used to buy a lot of fruit and cut it up. And then, hey, I'm telling you, as the years progressed, I knew it wasn't fruit anymore because I ate it so much. Every morning, every night, that's what I ate. Fruit and yogurt parfait. That's it. Okay. And I know if it was as the years progressed, couple years, hey, I knew it wasn't real fruit anymore. So I don't eat it. But watermelons, I know it's a little town not far from here that we go through when we go to the hill country, that it's a watermelon town and they grow their own watermelons. I can't really think of it right now, but if I think of it, I'll put it on the caption or either in the description box that you can go and buy your watermelons from. But these are oats. This is some things that you want to have in your pantry. You can use this just like regular flour. I actually was making, my husband wanted, well, he didn't want a gumbo, but I wanted to make a gumbo because I didn't want to have to cook for 2 or 3 days this week. Because I can do my videos, I can teach my classes, and do the things I need to do if I know that there's food in there that people can eat. And I don't have to cook that day. So the oats and stuff like that, the gumbo that I made, you know, it lasts 2, 3 or 4 or 5 days in the refrigerator. But other than that, you know, I just want a light meal. And when I crave heavy stuff like a burger or something, I'll get it, but I won't finish it. I notice that I'm not finishing my food like I was before. Probably because it's not good. But the oats is another thing that you want to keep in your dry food pantry. And have your garden and your stuff ready. Like, you guys are gonna have to eat. You know, you can even get these. I like the big macaroni pasta. And I got this from Ross, and it was marked down for $1.99, and it is 16 ounces. Okay. And it's probably, let me see if I can find the ingredients on there. Ingredients: organic durum wheat. That's it. That's all it is. So stock up on your goods and make sure that you have your dry goods in your house. And, you know, pray about your appetite, because God hears our prayers and he's here to help us and to make us better. But all my dry goods, all my nuts and stuff I keep over here. It's all dry. Coconut flakes, all dry goods. Dry bananas, all dry goods. Okay, I keep it in glass jars with little tops on them that seals it really well. I need a whole lot more. So if y'all want to cash out me and help me buy that, I surely would appreciate it. Okay, got that coconut, dry coconut. I eat all this with my oatmeal, and it keeps me full. I got the dry hemp seeds and the dry wheat. I put that in there also, along with some more granola. Different type of flavors of the granola. You can make your own granola. I have my pecans. Okay. Sliced almonds. I gotta get my raisins and my currants. This is a different type of oats. This is dates and prunes and raisins. So yeah, all dry goods. Coconut flakes. I found this at Ross for $3.99 each. I bought a couple bags, so that'll stay for a good little while. So if you don't like to eat oats, you need to learn how to eat them. Even if you just eat them dry, get a little oat milk, put in there, almond milk, heat it up. Stay away from, I don't eat any dairy milk. I stay away from all that stuff because I know how sick it can make your body. Okay. Once I seen a cow and how much it slobbers, I knew that I would not be drinking any more milk. And I haven't drank milk in years. Okay, cow milk in years. But that's what I wanted to hop on and share with you guys today, to try to keep you in the loop. You know, I had to learn how to settle down, you know, and get on and share with others, because a lot of people are just living. They living in their mind in the world. That's the Girgashite Canaanite spirits. They just low earthly minded. They mind the things of the world. Their bills is what they think about, stressed about the money, this and that. No, when your money start flowing, it's time for you to start making some better choices and decisions. It's time to move. It's time to get to, you know, move in together if you have to, and get, you know, if you have to take people into your home, because I don't mind doing that. But let me show you something. I have rules posted in my house, because my house is a house of peace. And your house will run so much smoothly if you have your rules posted. Okay? They love rules. People who have to come here and get on their feet, they love my rules. That way, hey, I don't have to yell, fuss, fight, nothing. The rules are there. If you violate them, then that's on you. There's consequences. My kitchen is closed at 10 p.m. Absolutely no cooking or baking. Thanks, Judah. Because when there's a food crisis and a food shortage, and you got people in your house and you don't have no rules, you're going to be in trouble. If your pantry don't have a lock on it and you take people in and you got a food shortage and you got to cook for 20 people and you don't have rules and a lock on your pantry, you're going to be in trouble. Okay? If anybody take others in their home, because you know that's what the Lord called for us to do. And we have to be adamant about doing what the Lord say, okay? Because that's living that salvation life. We have to be adamant about doing what the Lord say. And as long as we're doing that, okay, we serving the Lord. But you better have some rules and regulations, because the Lord has rules and regulations, kingdom, his word, his laws, his precepts for us to abide by. Your house is to be governed and to function in that same manner. Okay, so you can open doors to people who going through some things, because it's a lot of people right now that's going through some things. Okay, some things that they didn't know was coming, okay? And hey, when you down and out and you lost everything, you don't know where to go, you need somebody to be there to give you a hand up and a hand out and to, you know, pray with you and pray for you and keep their mouth off you to help you really get on your feet. So that's Camp Judah, okay? That's how we roll over here. But there are definitely rules and regulations, and they're not hard. They're all about, it's all about peace and respect, okay? Up over here at Camp Judah. We don't play, me and baby, we don't play all that. We know what kind of life you live when you don't have rules and regulations in your life, okay? And moral standards. We know what kind of life that is, so that's what we teach, okay? We trying to raise kings and priests unto the Lord. We don't have time for anything else. So that's what I wanted to hop on and share with you guys today. And also, I want to make a video about the vape. Okay, I don't know if vaping and stuff is legal in your state, but vaping is killing the young men and young women, okay? And even grown adults having complications with their lungs and stuff because of the vape. But Queen Judah, she know how to make that medicine. So I had to make this medicine for my sons, okay, because they thought it was a joke. But I made this medicine for them with teas. And they have to take this morning and at night. But it's in the refrigerator for them because we all about them getting better. Okay? All about that prayer life and that Bible study and helping them to grow up and be godly men. So take heed to the Most High God. Take heed to what's going on. Take heed to the prophecies. Take heed to how the prophecies are unfolding by the hands of the scientists. Okay? Take heed that the word say that 2/3 of the population will perish. Don't let that be you. Okay? Take heed to the Most High God. And stock up on your dry goods. Okay? And if there's anything else that you need to know, drop me a comment. Okay? And I don't mind answering your questions. Okay? And getting you on that right track with the Lord, like you're supposed to be, walking in that right covenant relationship with him, okay, and giving yourself over to him so that your life can be made abundant in Christ. So peace and love, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday in this month of May. Good day.
What is your mother? Lioness, principally rock solid of an empress.